Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 12 of Civilization 5. I'm playing as Portugal on my first real attempt at an Emperor difficulty game. My current war with the mines is not going too well. They've pushed me back a little bit from my citadel, which I've lost, but I still managed to take a chunk out of their land, so I'm not too bitter about it. And it's fine for them to put their units next to it now because it is pillaged, so it isn't going to do any damage to them. But they do keep feeding the occasional ranged unit up towards my troops as I've taken more of a defensive stance, and I am starting to do a little bit of damage to them. They're not willing to peace out at this point, but hopefully I can either hold them off long enough to actually get some cannons in position, or peace them out and then go and get some cannons in position and declare war on them when we can next time. Also, we are still at war with Korea. They're refusing to peace out also. But they're not really causing too much of a threat because they're quite small and they're quite weak and they are quite far away. So I'm not bothered about them really in the slightest. Still going to be interesting dealing with Polynesia and Arabia because they're on their own little island, but that doesn't mean that we can't deal with that. Now, do we want to try and go over here and take out this privateer? It probably isn't a good idea because the privateer is technically stronger than us, so probably isn't an awful lot that I can do with that. Now, I've actually started to withdraw their units away from the lines here, which is good for me. I can start to move a few units a little bit closer. I do still have to be very, very careful because they do have the ability just to rush in and do me a lot of damage if I'm not careful. So we're going to get some units in position to try and bombard from a distance. We've got a lot of hills to cover here as well, so I can't just run forward. Got a couple of great artists now, but can't do anything because I don't actually have any buildings to put any great works of art in. Let's go on to the next turn. We have recently discovered chemistry, so we do now have access to cannons. I'm building a few up, and that should give us a bit more of a chance against Palenque. Now, here we go. This is what I was hoping they would do. They're actually now starting to move their musketmen close to me, and hopefully I should be able to take a few shots at them and start plinking away at some of these weaker units. Civilian was captured by barbarians, a worker. Oh, wow. Okay, well, he was on his way up to go and work over here. I don't feel too mad about that. We can live without him. We've finished the Opera House. Getting castles wouldn't be a bad idea. Also, neither would getting barracks. Getting additional XP in our other cities isn't too much of a bad idea. What we're doing in the capital, we're still working on a cannon. We do need to get working on Oxford University at some point. But you guys are going to take a lot of shots. I know that musketmen are actually very, very strong compared to crossbows. We're not going to do an awful lot of damage, but we might be able to weaken them down a little bit anyway. We certainly need to get some better units of our own if we are to stand a chance. I doubt you can reach them, which is a little bit of a shame. If I move you there, you're probably going to get attacked by... You can move there, though. It's not going to be the greatest of spots for you to be in, but it protects our ranged units a little bit more. You've completed that for Toria. We don't want to get too close to Chichen Itza, of course, because they don't like us. In fact, most of these city-states around here actually don't like us. And I'm not entirely convinced that it is worth sending my workers anywhere to try and deal with any of this stuff. So I may just tell him to try, if possible, and make his way back to our borders and see if he can do that and stay in one piece. You guys can't do an awful lot from there, but I don't really see where I can move you that would be useful. So let's just put you on to alert and go on to the next turn. We'll try and peace out again on the next turn, see if that's possible. I did try and bribe Egypt a couple of times to go to war with the Mains, but they had absolutely no interest in doing that whatsoever, so going to have to be careful. He's actually withdrawn a little bit there. I think he just did it to pillage and get some of his health back. They're just basically going around and pillaging all the improvements here, which is going to be a little bit of a pain, but not the end of the world. There you go. We put absolutely no production at all into that. At least Ramses only got the silver. Gets a free social policy, but the culture increase is for Arabia, so that's not too bad. We've also completed research on architecture, so what do we need to go into now? See, we could actually just complete Oxford and get scientific theory. That wouldn't be such a bad thing to do. Or we could get industry. I think what I'm going to do is work on scientific theory and build Oxford and use that to take industrialisation. So we will get to doing that. As for you guys, you now really can't take any shots from the positions you're in. Knights would get absolutely murdered if they tried to move in. So we're just going to stay there on the defensive. In fact, let's just have a look and see if he's willing to peace out now. Still not willing to peace out. Wow, he really is being stubborn. Okay, well, we'll keep a few more units on defensive. You guys don't have an awful lot to do there. I could bring you back here and try and... You did actually get that mine connected up. Is there anything else here that's worth you doing? Yeah, they've pillaged my stone there, which is a bit of a pain. Got a few farms going down here, I suppose. Wouldn't be the end of the world. I guess what we could do is actually annex Gao, but I don't think we're going to do that straight away. I've certainly got the happiness to do it, but let's try and get a few more of our national wonders built first. I think I am still in with a chance of winning this. It's going to be difficult, and I do realise that I've made a pretty bad start, but I think it's still possible for me to do. Now, he should be in range of the city, even though he's the other side of mountains, because the city has indirect fire, so he takes a hit from that, although he'll probably just pillage that improvement anyway, so that's not too much of a problem there. We've completed the barracks here. Let's go ahead and get the armory done. Crossbowman is fully healed. You're just going to go on to alert. I don't really want to push any units forward because it could be quite dangerous. I really don't know what they have. Would you be willing to give me 7? Oh, the deal has faded, so you were not even willing to give me 6. Okay, well, give me 5 then. This is the problem when you do go to war. You do find that you end up with a lot of people who used to trade with you no longer wish to trade with you, so that becomes a little bit problematic. Might even be able to take another shot or two at this guy now. One other thing that I'd like to do is we might even be able to peace out with Bagata, because they're now allied with Egypt, so we can make peace with you. That's great. I wish the game would actually tell you when that happens, because if you don't always spot it, sometimes it's difficult to do anything about it. So yeah, we can fire at these guys. We're not going to do an awful lot of damage to them, but we do a little bit all the same. Do I really want to try and move any of my guys a bit closer? Maybe get somebody up onto this hill. Could be worth doing. Let's move you around to this side then. And we'll just sort of, we'll leave somebody garrisoned. I think that makes a lot of sense. You guys can just stay there for now. Let's go on to the next turn. Building up a little bit of money, which is what I want to do. Try and make things a little bit easier. No longer allied with Leventa. Might be nice if we could actually bribe Leventa and actually be able to use them to fight on our side. But they're a religious city. They probably don't have an awful lot of units, although every little bit does help. I'm very, very glad that these guys put themselves in pretty much the exact position I wanted them to put themselves in now. Not sure if these guys can hit. Oh, they can actually hit from there, which is fantastic. You guys are firing over a hill, so you should be able to hit. There we go. And then I should be able to finish off with the knights and then move back, because obviously knights can move after attacking. So we can come back up there. Okay, there's one of their musketmen dead. Are you willing to peace out now? Ah, now he's willing to peace out. And he's willing to wipe peace. So we are going to go for that. Okay, we're now at peace. This is fantastic. This means that we can repair everything. It also means we can get a lot of cannons in here. We can repair our citadel, and we can get ready to just go in and do some major damage to this guy. So that is really, really good. Knight's going to heal up for now. We're also going to see if we can peace out with Korea. Because if the Mayans were, Korea may be willing to. Yep, they're willing for a white peace. Okay, fantastic. We are now at peace, officially, with everybody. Let's just check all the city-states to make sure that we've peaced out with all of them. Yes, we have. That is fantastic. We're also then going to go around to some of these city-states and see if we can't get really friendly with them. Mbanza Congo. You're not allied with anybody. I know they're not really close enough to help me fight, but they are a militaristic city-state, which means they will gift me units, so it's well worth having them on side. I am going to have to get a worker down here as well, and in fact, I think this is going to be your job. You're going to come down here and just repair as much stuff as possible. We'll need some more workers, that is definitely apparent. I'm also going to need to try and get cannons in a lot of these spaces down here as well, so I don't want to fill them. Yeah, so we're probably going to get denounced and all kinds of other nasty stuff. But at least for the time being, we should be relatively safe. I can get another cargo ship going. Although I think I've actually got one on the build right now. Enemy's been spotted near Porto. Really? That must have been a... barbarian, yes. Can't do an awful lot about you right now, sadly. Change production. We have finished the cannon in Lisbon. Let's go ahead and work on Oxford University. 9 turns for that. Porto has also finished its cannon. Let's go ahead and... what do we need here? I guess we could go ahead and get that other cargo ship done. Promote a unit. You can have barrage 2. Why not? Should probably give you cover. You can go ahead and sit in there. You might as well sit on that tile. That's too far away for a cannon to be useful. You can go and... oh, that's their territory. We can't move into those tiles, but we will start moving some units forward. Cannons, I think we need here, here, and here. No point putting one in the Citadel because cannons don't actually receive a defensive bonus, but we'll see what we can do. Stacked unit, cannon. We need to move that cannon out. That barbarian can't get to you on this turn, so you are safe. Barbarian also can't get to you. We'll just set these cannons up. We'll fire at that barbarian a little bit because we might be able to get some free experience for doing so. You've now finished the road, so that's a good thing. What could we do with you now? I guess we do have a lot of stuff down here that needs fixing. Okay, come south then. Don't have an awful lot of workers left, but I don't have an awful lot that I still need them to do. Is everything connected up to the capital? Yes, it is. That is good and dandy. We can move you down a little bit as well. Makes a gap so we can get our cannons through later. Everybody else just go on to alert. We'll go in and we'll repair up the Citadel. And we'll repair up these farms. We'll repair up the stoneworks. We've got to get the armory here. So if we build any military units here, or purchase any military units here, we'll actually get a little bit more experience for them. So it may well be worth buying another cannon here. Farm has been destroyed by a barbarian, which is hardly surprising. So let's have a look. Braga, you have finished the armory. Public schools are not a bad idea because we are getting a little bit behind on science. You've finished the armory. Do I want the public school here straight away? I don't think I do. I think having the forge would be quite nice for the additional production. So let's go ahead and work on the forge. Choosing research because we finished scientific theory. Now I could use Oxford to get electricity at this point. I'd need fertilizer and military science to get dynamite, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So I could work on industrialization and take electricity. That does give me aluminium, which isn't brilliant. Stock exchange would give me a lot more money, though. Or fertilizer would also give me a lot more food. Do I want rifling? Having riflemen would be nice. Right, let's go for industrialization and then we'll pick up electricity for free because that way we can actually get Gatling guns and we can get some coal as well. So that seems like the best way of doing things. Right, you can actually fire at that guy, which is kind of the reason why I moved you there in the first place. You won't really be able to do anything. You can set up but you can't fire, but there we go. You guys might as well just stay around in my territory because you are going to get upgraded as soon as we can afford to. So I don't want to spend too much money if I can help it. You might as well start working your way over here. We'll go and repair the stuff that these barbarians are pillaging. So on to the next turn. So we should be able to get at least one more cannon. Egyptian settler. That's quite worrying, isn't it? Last thing I want is an Egyptian city right here on my borders. I did think about settling a city here myself, but it's going to be quite difficult. Could just declare war on Egypt straight away, of course, and just go and nick that settler. But Egypt can probably do quite a lot of damage to me, so I think if he wants to set up another city here, we'll probably let him. There isn't really any way I can stop him. Could try and buy another couple of tiles out in this direction. It does limit his choices of where he can settle, but not completely. Right, the city... In fact, this cannon has set up. So you take another shot. There we go, so a little bit more XP for you. Start moving you guys down. Will take you a little while, of course. On to the next turn. Yeah, he settled it right there. 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit annoying. Because he grabs those gems now. So that's definitely going to be the first Egyptian city that we have to take out. Oh wow, we've got ourselves into a little bit of trouble down here, haven't we? Okay, let's start moving down with this artillery. More units needing orders. You can just stay there for now. Worker, you, I think, need to get the farms connected up first if you can. You need to come down here as well. Now then, do we use some money to buy some more tiles and stop them? 1, 2, 3. That's about as much as we can do. 1, 2, 3. To stop them expanding anymore in this direction. It's going to be tricky, but not the end of the world. You carry on your automated exploration for as much as you can do. You got pushed out of the way. That is understandable. So just stay there for now, I suppose. Another cargo ship. Where can you go? Don't really want to go to Chichen Itza at this point. Let's just have a look by... Oh, not city name. We want highest gold. Vilnius, previous route. You were going there already. Okay, let's carry on with that. Still need to get somewhere we can start using these great artists. Don't want to fall behind on tourism, especially when we are relatively close to being able to get our ideology. Being denounced by Egypt. Hardly a surprise. Which now kind of does make me want to take his city. But we'll see what happens. Egypt doesn't have all that many cities, actually. It still looks like he's only got 3, although he has gone quite tall with them. So you are going to go and... In fact, no, you can just go around... Oh, no, you want to go all the way around there? Oh, yeah, because we can't get open borders. That's a shame. Should have realised that before I clicked it. Oh, well, I kind of stuffed that one up a little bit, but we'll just have to do it on the next turn. Maybe we'll just have to leave that pillaged until we take out Palenque. That's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. 5 turns to industrialization. Trying to save up a little bit of gold so we can upgrade some of these crossbowmen into Gatling guns. It is a shame that Gatling guns don't have the range that crossbowmen do, but they should certainly offer us a little bit more protection. I am going to need another melee unit or 2, just so we've got a definite way of capturing the city. Cargo ship has been produced here. Let's go ahead and work on that public school. Okay, worker. So you can come down here and work on the farm. This worker can go and work on this farm, I suppose. Oh, no, that wasn't the worker that I moved. Or was it? Apparently I'm moving all the wrong units. Just having one of those days. Workers, you have movement. Yes, okay, move on to that tile and... move on to that tile. So you can repair that farm on the next turn. Okay, that's a start. This worker... move on to that hill. Okay, there we go. Starting to sort out my issues now. Arabia, yes. Right, let's go to the east and trade in that direction. It seems like it should be a little bit safer to do so. Oh, Egypt, why did you have to go and settle right there? This is why I should have put a city there, just to stop that happening, but... oh well, one of those things. Should be able to make a little bit more money now. New unit from Mbanza Congo. Fantastic. It's exactly what we wanted. What did we get from you? Oh, Conquistador. Very interesting. Conquistador's not all that useful on this map. Because you can only actually settle on a continent that isn't where your capital is. And considering that narrows it down literally to this little chunk of land up here and this chunk of land over here, it does make that a little bit tricky. Promote a unit anyway. I did want some melee units, so let's go ahead and give you drill. Free melee unit is a free melee unit all the same, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. And you are the worker. You are going to repair that improvement. You are going to... Let's get the citadel repaired. Why not? So let's go ahead and do that. You are going to go and repair these. All the while, we're going to keep moving those cannons down towards the front line. Although, technically, it isn't a front line at the moment because we're at peace, but it will be a front line later. Very annoyed that they've moved on to that wheat. That makes it much more difficult for me to actually move a unit there. Can sort of move you around and put you on the hill, I suppose. That's not a terrible idea. You guys can just sit tight there for now. Going to have to do quite a lot of unit shuffling to get my cannons on the front line, though. That's the only problem that we're going to face here. It's going to be better that we're going to go in with slightly better units technology-wise than I had on the last war. Although it's still going to be tricky. Wow, yeah, everybody's pretty unhappy with us and not willing to give us as much for our stuff, which doesn't help our trade a great deal. But still, we can make plenty of money other ways. We'll soon start getting some markets and stock exchanges and things like that going, so that'll really help. The cannons are slowly, very, very slowly, making their way to the front, so we'll carry on with that. 3 cannons is probably enough. 4 cannons we could get in range if we put one within the citadel. Of course, you don't actually get a defensive bonus on artillery units for having them in the citadel, but we could certainly put 4 units within range of the city. How about you just give me gold per turn? And then I can use that gold per turn later to build an army to fight against you. 5 gold per turn, not terrible. Would have hoped for more. But you can't always get everything. And I think we've got time for one more turn. Yeah, really not playing a religious game this time around, am I? I haven't really done anything with that. Wine and salt. We're alright for happiness, although if we can actually get that deal going again, it would be quite nice. Trade. Wine for salt. Wow. Wow. Do you know what? No. I don't actually need the happiness that much, so I'm not even going to bother. You guys can stay there. You guys are still repairing that improvement? You guys are still repairing that improvement. Unit needs orders, workers. So maybe you have repaired that. Just doesn't look like you have. It says you have. Okay, you can go over there and repair that one then. Unit needs orders. Let's go and repair that. Worker. So you can't get to there unless you go all the way around. We might as well now we've repaired most of the things up front. So that is pretty much all I can do on this turn. So I will call that a video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization 5 as Portugal on Emperor. And I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.